Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and many of you know every Friday my 9-year-old holds me accountable. His first words to me every single Friday are, "You've got to take me to McDonald's, it's Friday." And sometimes I wake up out of a complete sleep and I open my eyes and there's a 9-year-old staring at me saying McDonald's. Okay, this morning, because of the way things unfolded, I did not deliver, which is not very often. And this kid looks at me and he says, "Well, Dad, that just means that you've got to take me after school for a snack at McDonald's." And so that is what he's going to hit me with the second that he gets home from school. And so that's what I'll be doing after this video. All right. Yesterday, I was on a call. Link2 did a Zoom call, and they had John Deaton and Jeremy Hogan on. I wanted to show you one of these clips, and maybe I'll show you some more later. But this is one from John Deaton. This is a really good summary of the Ripple case, an overview that he did. Listen to this.
Everybody, listen. Really, what distinguishes this case, and I believe, and I know Jeremy also went on record very early saying the same, that the best decision for us that the SEC made was actually going after the two individual executives and charging them with aiding and abetting. And it's because of that decision that I believe, and I think Jeremy, he can speak for himself, allowed the Bitcoin and Ethereum documents to be deemed relevant and needed to be turned over by Judge Netburn. But traditionally, my position is, if there's fraud, then you charge fraud and you move forward. After a 30-month investigation of Ripple, they could not come up with one claim of fraud or misrepresentation or market manipulation to the public. And therefore, they still decided, though, to charge the two executives, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. And they charge them with aiding and abetting, which raises, an element that they have to prove, which is state of mind, which goes to that they actually knew that XRP was an unregistered security, or that they were reckless in not knowing it because it's so obvious to the world that it is an unregistered security. And I think that was a critical mistake. It probably was either DAI or Brad Kimes. I remember seeing a video of Jay Clayton and Joe Grunfest, where Clayton said that he liked to charge the executives because it created the dynamic. And Joseph Grunfest said, well, actually, that raises the level of burden of proof. And Clayton was like, oh, it might be still worth it. And so I don't think it was worth it in this case. I think it was a bullying tactic, if you will. Because look how they went and sought after all their personal financial information and things of that nature. And so traditionally a securities case, unless there's fraud, is simply a strict liability case. You sold an unregistered security, it wasn't registered, and you don't have an exemption. But here they have to prove that recklessness conduct. And that's really, I think, the most critical mistake that they've made.
I think that's an interesting legal analysis there. That's something I didn't know. Now, I wanted to show you this. I was going to show it to you in my last video. You need to see it. I was looking around and I found this morning. Venture capitalists seek safe harbor for virtual currencies. This is from May 10th, 2018. Okay? Now, this was I think it was in the New York Times, but you have to have a subscription to that, and I couldn't pull it up. But you can pull that same title right there and you'll see the article on Google. I think it was New York Times. Don't quote me. This is the month before William Hinman gives the Ethereum free pass speech. This article is about this group that's been formed called the Venture Capital Working Group, which is led by Andreessen Horowitz and then VC firm and then Union Square Ventures and these law firms. And I highlighted this part. The primary purpose of the group is to deter regulators from categorizing cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ether as securities. On March 28th, the group met with the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission and proposed a safe harbor for some cryptocurrencies. And then I pulled this. There was a hearing on April 26th, a congressional hearing where Bill Hinman was testifying. Down here it says, Hinman, likely referring to the Venture Capital Working Group, replied that one of the steps that the SEC was taking was meeting with participants that have these ideas of a token that shouldn't be regulated as a security and working with them on how they should be structured. Hinman pointed out that the SEC is heavily engaged with academics and other departments to better explore how everything might work, and that in the long run the U.S. is pragmatic in its support of new technology. Then he goes out. This is April. He met with the Venture Capital Working Group in May. Okay, and then in June June 14th, 2018, he gives Ethereum the free pass. Then on June 24th, 2021, when he's left the SEC, Andreessen Horowitz announces that they're adding him as an advisor to Andreessen Horowitz. If anything smells like sulfur, it's because it does. Okay, now this goes in the All the World's a Stage file. This right here is from an announcement. They announced Brian Quince. Now what's interesting about Brian Quince, he was at the CFTC. He's leaving the CFTC, and now he's going to be joining that same team at Andreessen Horowitz, their advisor team, with Bill Hinman. Now here's what's interesting about this. When Gary Gensler in the last month or so started acting like he wanted SEC to take control of all of crypto, this is the same guy that came out and said no, and tweeted out. I remember covering the tweet. This same guy came out and tweeted something saying, no, it's that, you can't do that. It was basically, I'm just giving you the overall summary. You can't do that. That you can't claim that this is all your jurisdiction. Now, and Gary Gensler is obviously aligned with Bill Hinman and Jay Clayton because he's letting this whole thing go. Well, now the same guy is joining Bill Hinman at Andreessen Horowitz as an advisor. And then Katie Hawn, and this gets crazier and crazier, and Katie Hawn, who is the same woman, she was the assistant U.S. attorney when Ripple had the agreement with FinCEN, which is in the Department of the Treasury of the United States, fined Ripple $700,000 and called XRP a virtual currency. And she's the assistant U.S. attorney that signed off on it. She says Brian will help advise our portfolio and engage with the policy community about crypto. He joins existing advisors Bill Hinman, former director of the SEC's Divisions of Corporate Finance, and Brent McIntosh, former undersecretary of the Treasury for International Affairs. How weird does this thing keep getting? Now, I told you I was going to pull the video and show you who was at that same meeting with the General Counsel of Consensus that I showed you. And here it is. This is the video I showed you where he said that they were in talks to have an alliance with the SEC. Well, above this, you can see the same wood panel. They spoke in a different session at that same freaking event. It's 3 SEC people. It's called the Blockchain at Berkeley Keynote Speakers, Security and Exchange Commission, and here they are. Now, I think they made a mistake. The lady here, I don't think this is her name. I think her name is actually Kristen Snyder, but they put Nadia Brannon, who's also at the SEC, Zachary Fallon, Victor Hong, and Scott Walker. Zachary Fallon is not shown in that picture, but they've got a big screen behind them, and he's on the screen. So they just happen to be speaking at the same thing where the guy from Consensus was when he's talking about their alliance that they're in talks to have. Now, yesterday evening, I was sitting watching TV, minding my own business, when all of a sudden I started getting texts that XRP was going nuts. And here's why it did it. XRP went nuts last night because on Coinbase Pro, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, some trading pairs for XRP showed up that were not there. That's my understanding. So they put this out today. As previously announced, Coinbase has suspended trading in XRP. Due to a technical issue, XRP was temporarily viewable on the Coinbase Pro mobile app for some customers, but was not tradable. Okay? And then there's this. Stefan Huber put this tweet out. He's retweeting what they said. Then he's saying, so Coinbase accidentally relisted XRP. This guy, this is some guy on Twitter, he says, it's called SDLC. It's a series of steps you go through to develop and release software. Sometimes we engineers make mistakes and our changes impact production. In this case, they intended to stage the pending relisting and forgot to set the feature flag to disable. Now, I'm no engineer, folks, but I find that tweet very interesting. Okay, then Mr. B put out an interesting thought. I wonder if this was Coinbase threatening the SEC in retaliation. Never know, folks. Then Jeremy Hogan weighs in. He says, Dear Coinbase, a nifty little litigation fact. It only costs about 10 to 20% more to defend two causes of action as compared to one. Meaning, if you're going to be sued by the SEC anyway, might as well relist XRP and risk taking on two lawsuits instead of just one. Interesting thought there. And he's retweeting this from Crypto Bull. Retweet if you want Coinbase to relist XRP. And then John Deaton comes in and says, read the blog from Coinbase. They also asked for the name and contact information of every single person on our lend wait list. That's from Coinbase. What in God's green earth would the SEC want or need with the identity of all the customers signing up for the lend program? Okay, and this is them telling you. And then John Deaton also had this, and he makes an excellent point. Coinbase send the SEC this list of your lend customers. What's good for the goose? And what this is a copy of the Hinman deposition. You'll see his name right there. And he's showing how they blacked out all of this information. Basically, I guess just saying that that's privileged and people shouldn't be able to see these names or this information. They blacked out a whole freaking page. That in itself should be illegal. But they get away with a lot of things from what I've noticed. Now, this is interesting because yesterday, I've been doing this channel for over 3 years. Yesterday, out of nowhere, Brad Garlinghouse pops on a World Economic Forum video, and he is on video literally talking to Danielle Dixon from Stellar. I have not seen anything out of these two companies except that they are at odds ever since I started this channel, that Chris Larson does not like Jed McCaleb. I find it interesting that Jed McCaleb's wallet runs out of XRP. I think it ran out of XRP in the last week after years of this guy supposedly dumping on everybody. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, these jokers all show up together. I mean, she was literally talking with Brad Garlinghouse. Then I saw this tweet. This goes into All the World's a Stage file from I Am Legion, who's one of the better people in research I've seen online, especially with XRP and Ripple. Global World Economic Forum, Global Future Councils, Global Future Council on Cryptocurrencies. And this certainly goes in the All the World's a Stage file, folks, because look at who's in here. I'll just hit the highlights. Not that page, this page. No, yeah. Joseph Lubin. He's our SEC whisperer here on the channel. And then we have Catherine Coley, who she's also an interesting character because she was at Binance.us and all of a sudden gets replaced by Brian Brooks and disappears and hadn't been heard from since. She is alive because we've heard people confirm that, but she has not been heard from since. But she's on this council, and look who else is. This woman right here. Remember back when it's funny the things I remember. Remember back when the whole energy consumption of Bitcoin thing became an issue? Well, Melton Demers, who is a Bitcoin maxi, who came out and said, it was Barry Silbert says, what if I told you there was one company behind all of this energy FUD, okay? And then she went and replied and said it starts with an R and ends with something to that effect. Then Brad Garlinghouse called her out. Well, she's right here with Brad Garlinghouse. You'll see he's right here at the bottom. And then there's Danielle Dixon. And then there's Brad Garlinghouse. And now he's on the World Economic Forum and he's sitting there talking to Danielle Dixon. That all goes in the All the World's a Stage file, folks. And then Mike Jansen put this out. In fact, let me mention to you, my fantasy football team, I didn't get to go to my draft this year, but I did have Amari Cooper, who played last night, and he did pretty awesome last night. So I was talking a little trash to the guy I'm playing this week last night because I felt like I got a decent start with the points from Amari Cooper. Okay, so now you want adoption? I give you adoption. When Tom Brady's doing commercials on crypto.
You know something?
We talked about it. I got another 10 years left.
Not that. This is big. What do you think?
I'm in. Let's call everyone.
Hey, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm in. I'm in.
I'm in. I'm in.
This guy. First, even if you wanted to come back, we wouldn't take you.
Yes, you would. Yeah, we would.
You're right, we would. What's up?
I'm getting into crypto with FTX. You in?
Believe I'm in, but still hate you.
Understood.
Is he in?
Yep.
Did he say he hates you?
He did.
I get it. Can I talk to you about something?
We talked about it.
That's what you call adoption. All right, let me go ahead and make a prediction. We've been talking about it for years. Is this the year that we have a Super Bowl ad, a crypto Super Bowl ad? I am formally declaring that this is the official channel where you heard that there will be a Super Bowl, a crypto Super Bowl ad for the first time ever. I think there's never been one. Okay, wanted to show you this. IRS makes new crypto broker guidance a priority in 2021-2022 plan. Biden's Treasury Department is opening another front in its effort to police crypto tax cheats. They are ramping things up, folks. This is going to be their priority going forward. And there's one way that you can take that worry off your shoulders, and that is my sponsor, iTrustCapital. These guys, I have two crypto IRAs here. Any chance I get, I invest through my iTrustCapital IRA. This is the way to go, folks. Some of it's tax deferred, some of it is tax free. My Roth IRA is my favorite place in the world to invest in crypto, and they have all kinds of assets on here now. I'll give you a brief look at their offerings. Let's see what we got. Okay, so here's their offerings, and you can check this out here. Bitcoin, Ethereum, they've got all kinds of stuff, and they got decentralized land coming up. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family to check out iTrustCapital. They're in the links in the